amazing circles that would be crossing over one another throughout the world, and that really world change begins with the individual.
And if I were to ask you right now, what were your thoughts on President Bush, what would you say? That was if I were to ask you.
If you were to ask me that?
If I were to ask you that.
If you were to ask me that, this is what I might say, which is, personally I'm not a fan, but I would also say that sometimes that I'm sure that we don't know everything that there is to know about him. Only he knows that. The things that he does that affects people's lives, I'm not, as I said, a huge fan. However, I also think sometimes you have to go through some bad situations to really learn something of value. And so I don't necessarily view this as his current position as necessarily a waste of time, because I think that there are some valuable lessons to be learned and gained from them.
If I were to ask you another question, I would be fascinated in finding out how you would respond to this. You're a believer in the grace and the artistry that is involved in the discipline that is involved in in fighting.
Do I believe in the grace and
you appreciate that, obviously, just from your history and the fact that you are involved and engaged in the martial arts as a form of training, your history, your family history. How do you feel about war and fighting?
Interestingly enough, I am quite a pacifist, if you will. I don't believe in and I think my father really was that way too, in the sense that he believed in the ability to protect himself and express himself in a physical manner. But I don't think he believed in hurting people. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that when it's a matter of skill and a matter of contest, that's one thing. That's two people agreeing to say to each other, we're going to have a contest here, and we're going to see how that goes between us. When it comes to hurting other people, I'm certainly not a fan of that. I don't. My father certainly did not believe in using his art to wreak random violence. He really believed actually that
on stage, that is.
Yeah, well, exactly, unless it was not real. But he actually believed that the martial arts gave you the confidence, and that if you were really knew that you were very good at the martial arts, that you really didn't need to prove it. You know, that if you proved it for if you knew it for yourself, that was really enough. And if you did it for the own physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual lessons that it could bring to you as an individual, that was what you would do it for, and not so that you could go out and beat up people.
Wonderful. And from our audience, this is what I'm going to relay to you, a message from Precious. Shannon, you are the living breath of Bruce Lee with wise knowledge, and again, well-spoken, as another guest says. We want to thank you for being with us, Shannon, tonight. It's just been a true honor. Your father would have been proud of you, just so you know. And I agree that you are the breath of Bruce Lee, and I wish you all the success in your career, in your success in carrying on the legacy through your daughter and through generations to come. Next week's guest, folks, is Liz Rivera Goldstein of TeenPeace.org and United for Peace and Justice in the People Speak Social Issues category. The show will air on October 2nd, Tuesday at 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And Shannon, thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Our honor. Good night, folks. That's a wrap. It's all done, at least until the ghost of Bruce visits us again.
Summer people, and they stood there hungry when I stood